would allow them to construct a network of navigation and communication at high level from coast to coast. Let me show you how this was done, by moving to the second of a series of diagrams that should immediately cause even the most skeptical to pay attention, because this is not opinion, but fact that exists on our landscape today and verifiable by the Ordnance Survey and GPS. It has to be confessed that the detail of these charts is more apparent if and when projected to large format, but we're dealing with a very large area where detail unavoidably becomes compressed. Here we see 3 sites, one being no more than a single standing stone on Lundy Island in the Bristol Channel. The second to the north, a high encampment well removed from the hotbed of antiquity in Wiltshire, where exist the 3 World Heritage Sites of Avebury, Stonehenge and Silbury Hill. The third of our trio is the Great Pyramid of Silbury, Europe's largest mounded edifice. Never before discovered or even hinted at, almost every line you see here, and this is by no means all, represents 2 prehistoric sites registered as ancient monuments set equidistantly from the third. 2 prehistoric sites set equidistantly from the third. Most, but not all, are perfectly in alignment whilst being equidistant. Now, why has it taken so long for this simple state of affairs to be recognized? It has existed for millennia, yet today I find those who are most concerned with our antiquities as their profession have their faces firmly set against even the likelihood of there being a formalized layout to them. The equidistant setting of such sites is common throughout the entire review area of southern Britain here, while for clarity I have shown a very small number simply to illustrate the concept. It is this very attention by the elders to equality of spacing that takes us unexpectedly to geometry, because 3 sites aligned and equally spaced provide the base for the launch of countless isosceles triangles where a distant apex can be created at the same spacing from the 2 outer points and at right angles to the midpoint. Thus we have triangles with 2 equal sides and the bases bisected at 90 degrees, a combination of isosceles and Pythagorean properties, supposedly not discovered for another 2.5 millennia. Such geometry, by repetition over varying distance, can produce a variety of harmonious patterns on the landscape, as we shall see by exploring the permutation available to us. Being out of alignment is not an error, as what is to follow shows that a nationwide system of isosceles triangles, that's triangles with 2 sides being equal, formed an interlocking network from coast to coast. Note particularly how many of the lines cross seaways unerringly to reach targets on land. But we must not make the mistake of assuming that the logic of the ancients was the same as ours, and perhaps they did not identify the isosceles as a triangle at all, merely 2 points equidistant from a third. Before leaving this chart, it can be observed that a green horizontal line runs east from Lundy Island, Standing Stone, by way of Quantock's Head Mound on the North Somerset coast, all the way to Stonehenge. Now this is important, as it is another of Lundy's radiations using Quantock's Head as its exact midway marker, exact to the metre, halfway to, or perhaps from, Stonehenge. Again, by projecting at right angles from this line at Lundy, one arrives at Castle Door to the south in Cornwall, and to Foel Drigan in the Welsh Preseli Mountains to the north, this being the area which was the source of the bluestones that were transported all the way to become part of the structure of Stonehenge. Equidistance and Pythagorean triangles to answer the question of why the bluestones at Stonehenge, perhaps? This close-up with distances indicated makes clear two things. One, how remarkably precise is the survey, and two, it could not possibly come about by chance, but was the result of most careful pre-planning that provides the reason for Silbury Hill being what and where it is. From this, we, some 6,000 years later, can learn that the ultimate isosceles triangle is a straight line of 3 points, equally spaced. Beginning with this simple chart, I hope to persuade you that soundly based geometric principles were understood and practiced here in southern England and Wales at least 6 millennia ago and converted into an enduring lattice of communication with breathtaking precision. Having shown that Silbury Hill sat at the centre of a radiating series of spokes whose lengths were paired, let us see if the Great Cone has any other significant role to play in the scheme of things. The qualified experts would tell you no, because they've dug into it, they've driven tunnels and shafts, flown over it, televising, filming, and imploring it to give up its secrets, but all to no avail. Yet it is the biggest earthwork of all. Why should this be? Surely its scale should indicate its importance. Contradicting the experts, I say yes to the question of its significance, but the secret does not lie within the mound itself. There's no buried treasure, no hidden astronomical clock as I've heard described. First, it is where it is that's important. Within the main landmass of the British Isles, it is the centre of gravity, so to speak, of navigation, being the fulcrum for travel from Wales to Kent, Sussex and Essex, from East Anglia to Devon, Cornwall and the Scilly Isles, and perfectly positioned on the north-south axis that links the south coast of England with the Midlands, the North and Scotland, by remaining overland and crossing no seaways nor major estuaries. Note too how projecting from Silbury through the northwest and southwest extremities of Wales encompasses all of Ireland precisely. Silbury is perfectly positioned and chosen to act as the hub or epicentre of a national and possibly international geometric latticework. Our seventh chart has Silbury firmly in focus, depicting what I believe could have been the method used to expand the planned system by establishing two units at matching distances from the chalk giant of the Marlborough Downs. By then connecting these two units and extrapolating into the far distance, alignments could be created from coast to coast to any desired orientation. That being important, they controlled the orientation of the alignment. Here we see 8 such examples never previously discovered, all linked to Silbury, and there are many more. The lengths of each triangular side are given on the chart, indicating the accuracy to within 100 or so meters regardless of distance. Even these discrepancies